Every woman owns at least one. The basic that went see-through halfway through June. The one that twisted sideways after 3 runs through the wash. The collar that stretched into a different neckline by August. You blame the washing machine, or the brand, or the price. It was none of those things. It was a number that was never printed on the tag. The fabric weight. And once you can read it, you will never waste money on a bad basics again. Let me walk you through all 11. Number 1. The fast fashion rack. Shine, H&M, and the thinnest Gap basics. This is the worst group on the list, and one number tells the whole story. These basics run under 150 grams per square meter. That is the fabric weight, GSM. And it is the single most useful number on any piece of clothing. Under 150 is lightweight to the point of see-through. Hold one up to the store lighting, and you will watch the light come right through it. Worse, it is usually open-end cotton, the cheap, rough, loosely spun yarn that pills fast and feels like cardboard. And most of these are tubular, knit as a seamless tube with no side seams. Tubular is cheaper to make, and it torques. That is the top that spirals sideways after a few washes, the side seam that is not there twisting the whole body off-center. Hold any basic up in the store. If there is no seam running down each side, it will twist. If you can see through the fabric under the lights, the weight is gone. 2 seconds of looking saves you the shirt. It is not a top. It is a 3-month subscription to a shirt, and the price is the bait. $6 feels like nothing, so you buy 3. And 3 months later, all 3 are limp, warped, and thin at the shoulders. What felt like a deal turned into a cycle. You keep paying, and the closet keeps churning. The fabric was designed to wear out on schedule, and no label will tell you when it hits 0. The weight never lies, and this one weighs almost nothing. Number 2. Old Navy. This is the one that stings because the price tag feels so reasonable. Old Navy basics are cheap up front, but they are famously thin and lightweight, and the spec tells you why. Light fabric that loses its shape, goes limp, and often comes tubular, so it twists over time. You buy 3 for the price of 1 good basic, and you replace all 3 by next summer. In fairness, Old Navy runs frequent sales, and if you genuinely want a throwaway layering piece for 1 season, fine. But as a real everyday basic, one you keep. One that holds its shape through the wash cycle, the weight is not there. You are paying a little to get almost nothing, again and again. Run the real math. 4 of these across 4 summers cost more than one honest heavyweight basic that outlasts all of them and still holds its shape at the end. The cheap top is only cheap on the first day. After that, it is the most expensive basic you own because you keep buying it over and over. The math only looks good until you count how often you rebuy. And that rebuy is the plan. A basic that lasts 10 years means the brand loses you as a buyer. A basic that falls apart by September brings you back to the rack every spring. That math is not an accident. Thinness is not a failure. It is the plan. Before we get to the next one, you have been watching me read specs for 2 brands now. If you want to know how to do this yourself, every time you walk into a store, I put the whole method into a guide. The 3-number check, 85 brands scored, and a shopping calendar so you know exactly when the real sales hit. The link is in the description, or scan the QR code that is on screen right now. Number 3. The Premium Fashion Basic. This one should make you angry. I am going to keep it to the type rather than name one label because the trap is everywhere. Walk into a department store or a boutique and you will find a plain cotton scoop neck for $30, $40, even $50. You assume the price buys quality. Read the label, and often it does not. A great many of these premium basics are the same thin cotton at the same low GSM as a fast fashion basic, sometimes lighter. The entire markup sits in the label on the collar and the lighting in the store. The price tag is not the spec. Let me say that again, because it is the whole video. The price tag is not the spec. A $40 basic that weighs 150 grams is a worse piece of clothing than a $5 basics that weighs 250, and no amount of branding changes the fabric. Weight is not the only number that matters. Cotton quality can lift a lighter piece, which is exactly how Supima wins later on this list. But weight is the first number to read, and the premium basic fails it. When a brand will not publish its weight and leans entirely on a name, that silence is the tell. You are not buying cotton. You are renting a logo for a season at 10 times the price of a better basic. And here is the part that should sting. The person who designed that thin $40 basic knows the weight is low. They chose it. A lighter piece costs them less to produce, and the label lets them charge more for it. You paid a premium for less fabric. When you look at what cotton basics actually cost to produce, the gap between a $5 basic and a $40 basic is almost never the fabric. It is the rent, the branding, and the margin. The cotton does not know which store it was sold in. That is not a mistake. That is the business model. The woman who reads the weight walks right past it. Now, the ones that tell you the truth about what they are. Number 4. Gildan. Most people walk past Gildan because it sits on the bottom shelf in a plastic bag next to the socks. No marketing, no lifestyle campaign, no celebrity on the tag. That is the point. Gildan is the largest blank shirt maker on the planet, turning out over 2 million shirts a day. It makes two things you will actually meet on a shelf. The soft style is the lighter, thinner one, fine for casual wear, a bit flimsy on its own, and it is the one most people accidentally grab. But the ultra cotton and the heavier lines sit right around 200 grams of pre-shrunk cotton at a few dollars a shirt. Buy the ultra cotton, not the soft style. It tells you exactly what it is and makes no promises it does not keep. Gildan prints the specs right on the packaging and dares you to compare. That transparency is worth more than a fashion label ever gave you. Number 5. Hanes. Here is a brand with two completely different products sharing the same name on the tag. The heavyweight line, about 6 ounces, right around 200 grams of real cotton, has been around for decades. Pick one up in a store and you feel the difference in your hands. That density is not marketing. It is cotton. It holds its shape through hundreds of washes because the weight is actually there. But walk 3 feet down the aisle and you will find the cheap multi-packs under the same Hanes logo. Lighter, flimsier, and not the same product at all. Same brand on the front. Very different weight on the back. That one habit, reading the line name instead of the logo, separates the women who keep replacing basics from the women who stopped needing to. Number 6. Fruit of the Loom. This one is simple. A bottom dollar multi-pack that never pretended to be anything else. Basic cotton, lightweight, sold in packs for a few dollars. As a layering piece worn beneath a cardigan or a blouse, it does exactly what the price tag promises. Where it falls short is if you expect it to work on its own for years. It will not, and the price already told you that. Now the passes start getting good. Number 7. Target. A new day. Walk into any Target clothing section and a new day sits at eye level in clean stacks, organized by color. The question is whether that mid-tier store brand is actually better or just marketed that way. For a new day, it is genuinely a step up. The cotton is better, the seams are cleaner, and the neckline actually holds after you wash it. Not heavyweight, and you should check the specific item because some in the line run lighter than others. Read the content tag to dodge the lightest ones, and you are fine. Target's advantage is consistency. You walk in, grab an A New Day crew neck, and you roughly know what you are getting, which is more than you can say for the fast fashion lottery. Think of it as the floor of acceptable. Target clears it comfortably. If you watched our Costco video, you know what that floor looks like. Number 8. Walmart. Time and true and free assembly. This is the comparison that surprises people. Walk into a Walmart clothing aisle, and most of it is exactly what you expect. But free assembly tops are a different product entirely. Real cotton at a rock-bottom price with actual weight to the fabric. Grab the thinnest multi-pack, and yes, it is a disposable. But step up one line and you are in genuine everyday cotton territory for well under $10. The store on the sign tells you nothing. The line name and the fabric weight tell you everything. The problem was never the store. It was which rack you pulled from. That is the lesson hiding in the Walmart clothing aisle. The same retailer sells you a disposable and a decent basic on the same rack, 3 feet apart. And the only thing separating them is whether you read the label. Walmart is not a quality brand or a garbage brand. It is a shelf. And everything from disposable to genuinely good sits on it. The label is your only guide. Number 9. Amazon Essentials. Open your Amazon app and search for a plain cotton crew neck. The first result is usually Amazon Essentials, and the reviews tell the story. Cotton with reinforced seams, no logo anywhere near the collar, sold for the price of a drive-through lunch. You are paying for cotton and construction, not a name. For a dependable basic that shows up at your door in 2 days, it works. And notice the pattern across this whole video. Every genuine value has one thing in common. No logo doing the selling. When nobody is charging you for a name, the money goes where it belongs. Into the fabric. Number 10. Uniqlo. The Supima Cotton Basic. If you watched our earlier video, you already know Uniqlo delivers. Here's the number that explains why. And it is the exception that proves GSM is not the only thing that matters. The Uniqlo Supima tee sits lighter than a heavyweight, but it wins on the yarn. Supima is extra long staple cotton, fibers over 35 millimeters, and less than 1% of the world's cotton qualifies. That long fiber spins into a smoother, stronger, silkier yarn that resists pilling, holds color, and feels far more refined than its weight suggests. The difference is in how the fiber behaves over time. Short staple cotton is a mess of tiny fiber ends poking out of the yarn. That is what pills and roughens after a few months. Long staple has fewer loose ends, so the surface stays smooth, wash after wash. The fiber length is doing quiet work you can feel for years. At around $15, it is the mid-price standout. The basic that teaches you weight is not everything, because cotton quality can carry a lighter piece past heavier, rougher ones. If you want a single refined basic to wear on its own, neckline sitting right, color staying true through years of washes, this is the one worth the step up. The woman who walks past Uniqlo because it does not look expensive is walking past the best yarn on this entire list. The weight never lies, but the yarn has a vote too. Now the winner, and it costs about $5. Number 11. Costco. Kirkland Signature. The basic that beats everything, costing 5 and 10 times more, sold in a warehouse next to the rotisserie chicken. The Kirkland Signature Women's Pima Cotton Tee. 100% Pima cotton, the same class of extra-long staple fiber as Uniqlo's Supima. 250 grams per square meter, heavier than every other basic on this list. Taped neck and shoulder seams, overlocked armholes and side seams. Made in Peru, where the Pima cotton grows. And it costs roughly $5. Let that land. A $5 basic with better cotton, more weight, and better construction than the $40 premium basics we read apart earlier. Same category, same purpose, a fraction of the price, and it wins on every spec that matters. Premium cotton at a warehouse price, heavier than anything else on this list. If you ever needed proof that price and quality came apart a long time ago, it is stacked on a Costco shelf in a 2-pack. Uniqlo won on the yarn earlier at $15. Costco matches the yarn and adds the heaviest weight on the list for a third of the price. Not a boutique, not a fashion floor, a warehouse that does not spend a cent making the piece feel special and puts everything into the piece itself. The cotton does not get softer because the store has nicer lighting. The Pima fiber does not get longer because someone put it on a wooden hanger. Spend on what touches your skin, not on what decorates the store. So here is the method, and it is the only one that works. Read the GSM. Under 150 is see-through and disposable. 180 to 200 is a real piece of clothing. 200 and up is heavyweight that lasts years. Read the cotton. Pima and Supima above everything. Combed and ring-spun over open end. Read the seams. Side-seamed and double needle stitching. Never the tubular twist. 3 numbers. Every store, every basic, every time. Now I want to hear from you. Go to your closet and grab your most worn basic. Check the label. What does the weight say? What cotton does it use? And if the label does not list the weight, that tells you something too. Let us know in the comments, because I have a feeling the basics that lasted longest in your drawer are going to be the ones with the numbers to back it up. If this changed how you shop, hit subscribe. I cover brand quality and the specs nobody else reads every week.